welcome to this week's edition of Boxing Pick, the premier destination for boxing picks. My name is Hisham, and in this video we will talk about the upcoming rematch between Sebastian Fundora and Tszyu. This fight will be taking place later tonight. I just saw the weigh-in a little while ago. I've seen it 2 times, and I think both guys look ready. Here is where I find the most value in this fight. So if you look at the first fight, I have actually rewatched it a few times this week to be able to handicap this fight really well and accurate. In the beginning of that fight, in the first 2 rounds, that's the story of the fight for me. What happened in those first 2 rounds? Tszyu was able to find Sebastian Fundora way too easily. He was outlanding him, he was landing a lot of hard shots, he was busting him up, and it started to look like in the second round he was starting to hurt him a little bit. He didn't, he wasn't wobbled or like close to being knocked down, not yet. However, the fight had already it was just 2 rounds into the fight. So there was 10 more rounds remaining, and if it would have continued in that same fashion, I personally don't think that Sebastian Fundora would have been able to take that kind of punishment for 12 full rounds. Fundora was throwing more punches. If we just look at the first 2 rounds, if we start with those, Fundora, he was throwing more punches even in the first 2 rounds, but Tszyu was the guy who was landing more punches, like significantly more in the first 2 rounds. And then that big cut happened, and in my opinion, that changed the whole trajectory of the fight. Some guys handle seeing their own blood a little bit better than others, and I'm not saying that Tszyu didn't handle it well. It's just that the amount of blood, there was so much blood just pouring all over his face, his eyes, and they kept asking him, "Are you okay?" And he said yes, he's a fighter. But really, it was bothering him. It was bothering him a whole lot. It's not very likely that would happen exactly the same way again, and he will bleed that amount again in this fight. Let's hope that doesn't happen for the sake of the fight. He fought on. I think personally his corner could have stopped the fight at more than one occasion, because the only thing they would have had to say really was that Tszyu can't see well out of his eyes, and that would have stopped the fight, and they would have gone to the scorecards. And at several points in the fight, Tszyu was up. So I think that would have been the best option if we just look at the first fight, an alternative ending that would have seen him actually being victorious. And had Tszyu won that fight, he, who knows what would have happened in his fight against Murtazaliev, where he got knocked out. So we really can't say, but we know that Tszyu has regrouped since that fight. He's come back strong. He fought Joey Spencer a while ago. Joey Spencer has been a good amateur, but he really didn't have too much to put up against Tszyu. It looked like Tszyu got his confidence back. And if we look at the odds for this fight, Tszyu is a -160 favorite to win this fight. I think that's good value. I see Tszyu winning this fight. I really believe he will perform again at the top level. And Sebastian Fundora is very tough. He's really tough. He's very tall, but he's still, despite his tallness, he likes to fight on the inside. I just think that he will get picked off a whole lot by Tszyu in this fight. I think Tszyu is the better fighter. We like the -160 in this fight for Tszyu to win this fight outright. Personally, I think that Tszyu will get the stoppage here, because I think he will be landing just a whole lot of clean blows to the head and body of Sebastian Fundora. So I think that down the stretch, sometime, maybe after the halfway mark of the fight, maybe a little bit later, the accumulation of punches on Sebastian Fundora will either he will get beaten down and knocked out in that sense, or I could see it being a kind of fight where he takes so much punishment that his corner just stops it in the corner. Of course, it could go all the 12 rounds, but I personally think that Tszyu will make a real statement in this fight. It will be a beatdown, perhaps for several rounds, if not more than half the fight, perhaps a little bit longer. But I think he gets the stoppage. But the pick in this fight is Tszyu to win this fight outright, just in case it does go the distance. If you personally like to put an extra on the knockout prop, you can do that. But we believe Tszyu will win this fight, and that is the play here. If you haven't already subscribed to our channel, if you like this content, you like our picks, please do subscribe to the channel because it helps us grow a whole lot. We will be coming with a lot of productions for you guys and for ourselves, and we hope that you enjoyed it. Press the like button on the video, and if you have any comments, any things that you would like to add or share with us, please do so, and we appreciate having you with us. So thank you very much for that, and watch our other videos. We'll get some great picks. And by the way, before you leave, we will hear a few words from my partner, Breadman Edwards, one of the best minds, one of the best boxing minds we have in our sport. And I look forward to hear his thoughts on this fight, so we can share them with you also and give you some even more insight. And here will come. I'm joined by Breadman Edwards, one of the greatest boxing minds we have in our sport. How you doing, Stephen?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. We have the rematch, Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora. I think there's plenty of value in this fight. It's a very, very good rematch. First of all, what has happened with these guys since their first fight? Where do you think, what's happened in their careers since they first fought?
I think that Tszyu was knocked out pretty bad versus Bakram, and I think Fundora beat Cordell Booker after they fought.
Cordell Booker, yeah.
Yeah, so, they went in opposite directions. But believe it or not, I like Tszyu in this fight. I like Tszyu to win the fight. I think that he was timing Fundora much too early in the first fight. And I think that the cut was a freakish accident. And he showed a lot of courage to fight through it. And I still thought it was a very close fight. Like when I was live at the arena and I wasn't sure who won the fight, but I was more inclined to believe that Tszyu won the fight than Fundora. So
despite the cut and everything, you mean?
Despite the cut, yes. So I'm taking Tszyu on this fight. I don't know what the odds are. I haven't looked, but I think Tszyu wins this fight, probably by decision.
I agree with you. I agree with you fully. We can have Tszyu to win outright at a -160. I find something very interesting. You find people that say that, oh no, the cut didn't change so much because he was still able to see. I just don't believe in that at all. But
I was there live and I was up close.
You were there live, yeah.
I was there live and I was up close. By the middle of each proceeding round, the blood was in his eyes.
Yeah. Of course it bothered him.
They could only stop it in the time in the corner, but once his blood started flowing and he started moving around, it was running in his eyes. So he was literally wiping his eyes just to see a 6'5" guy. So I feel like that if Fundora had superiority over Tszyu, he would have stopped him with that kind of handicap. And it was still a life and death fight.
That's a very good point. I was a little bit upset for Tszyu. I felt bad for him when I was watching the first fight because it was an accidental clash, and his corner could have literally stopped the fight almost any time, right? And they could have just said that he couldn't see, and they would have gone to the scorecards.
That happened to me, or it would have been a no decision.
Yeah, if they did it before the first 4 rounds, it would have been a no decision. But I believe that he was still up after 6 or 7 rounds. Yeah.
It happened to me in the fight with Julian Williams versus a fighter by the name of Hugo Centeno. And we won the first 3 rounds, and there was a headbutt at the beginning of the 4th round, and neither guy was cut bad. It was just more of a, they just gave the guy a way out. But nevertheless, he started blinking, and he said he couldn't see, and he stopped the fight. And the scores were 30-27. Yeah. Look, it's on YouTube. You can see the fight. And yeah, he did it. And so They definitely could have did that with Tszyu and his team, but they chose not to.
But are you saying that when Hugo Centeno did it, did he do it in the first 4 rounds, so it was a no contest, or was it in the beginning of the fifth, so they counted the cards?
No, he did it in the beginning of the fourth round, but they didn't even
Oh,
let him go back to the corner and get the cut worked on. They just stopped the fight.
oh, yeah,
So he just
yeah,
started
that's how it
blinking,
is.
and it wasn't even a bad cut. He just started blinking, and then they just kind of just was just like like the referee just automatically stopped the fight. It was ridiculous. It was an inside job, to be honest with you. Like, it was
Got it.
ridiculous. But my point is that Tszyu's cut was much worse, and he didn't even choose to stop the fight. He still fought on.
They probably should have, don't you think? Or what would you say?
Looking back on it, probably they should would have cut that bad.
Yeah,
But the guy's a warrior, and he didn't want people. Nobody wants a no contest on their record,
no,
so it's a
no,
tough call. I don't want to second guess him and his team, but it
yeah,
was a tough call to make. Like when you're there live and everybody is anticipating the fight, obviously you
yeah,
want to see the guy. You want to see a complete fight come. But it is what it is. I enjoyed the fight. It was a great fight, so I
definitely.
can't complain because I was
I
there
think
live.
the I think the time to stop it would not have been in the first 4 rounds to make it a no contest, but I believe it was obvious after 6 or 7 rounds he had a few points up. That would have been a good time to stop it from his corner to get a technical
Hmm.
decision. Corners do this all
Hmm.
the time. I can tell you one fight that I remember on a top rank show between Nonito Donaire and Simpiwe Vetieka, an African guy. Do you remember that fight?
Nonito Daenerys who?
Nonito Donaire versus Simpiwe Vetieka. It's an African guy on a top rank show. There was something that happened in the beginning that they wanted to stop it, but they actually waited a few rounds until Nonito Donaire was up, and they knew that he was up, and they stopped it then. That's what they do.
Oh no, I don't remember that fight.
Yeah, that's been a while. So getting back to our main subject here, Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora. I will say one thing. I watched the first fight a few times, actually, 3 times, to see just in the beginning. I watched the first 2 rounds and the third round a few times just to see what happened. In the first 2 rounds, Tszyu was really dominating that fight. Sebastian Fundora
Yeah,
was throwing more punches, Fundora, as he always does. He throws a lot of punches, but Tszyu was landing the harder shots. He was landing the more, like he was getting to him with big shots.
and he was able to time him a little bit too early
Yeah,
for me to believe that without that Tszyu won the fight going away. Because when you catch a guy's timing that early with power punches, there's something about him that is conducive to you dominating him. So I'm really comfortable with picking Tszyu to win this fight.
I agree with you. I think that Tszyu will turn in a great performance. I actually believe that there's a very, very big chance that he will end up stopping Sebastian Fundora because if he can get to him the same way he was getting to him, and I think he will, to connect with as many shots as he did, and if that sustains for a period of rounds, I'm not sure that he will actually knock him out. That could happen because he will have taken so many clean blows. Either that or that he will have taken so much punishment that the corner stops it because Fundora is a very tough guy.
He
I
damaged
just,
Fundora's nose really bad in the first fight, if you
yes,
remember. That was like dark
yeah.
red blood coming out of there. He really damaged
Oh,
his nose. So
you did.
yeah, I like Zoo. I like Zoo outright. I don't know, stoppage or decision. I'm more inclined to decision because believe it or not, I don't believe that Zoo is the puncher that he thinks he is. I think he's more of a heavy-handed volume guy, but he thinks he's a bigger puncher than what he is. I think that's why he got in trouble with Bakram. But with Fundora, I believe he'll be able to land those flashy hard shots more often.
I think so too. Yeah, we'll see. Perhaps it goes to a decision, or perhaps he stops him late. But we see the fight the same way. We have Tszyu to win this fight outright and to turn in probably one of the best performances of his career. Don't you think? He seems to be in a good place.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see in a couple of hours, but I like him to win.
I agree with you. So thank you for that prediction, and thank you to everybody watching our show. Please subscribe to our channel. We're going to give you more content, and we enjoy doing this for you and for ourselves. And thank you for this week.
Thank you.
So there you had that. You heard it from Breadman Edwards. thank you very much for watching this video, and see you next week. Goodbye.